Can we sum up? Can we sum up? Can we come to some sort of conclusion? Because every time we think, the mind is infinite possibilities of the same possibility. I am here to represent you, says the mind. And everything else is just another idea, another, word in the story of I representing you and what I see you as. So mind is thinking on behalf of you see. So mind has to be the thinker of the thought that it took ownership of. It identified itself as. But this mind is I. I the mind. So who are you if you're not the thinker? If you're not the thought? If you're not the outcome, the conclusion? If you're not anything that the mind says you are, but everything as an example of what the mind thinks you are. You see, with the mind, we can go on all day, all infinite lives, trying to understand what this world is, what this planet is, what this moon is, what this sun is, what this universe is, what this form is, what the purpose is, what the method is, what the objective is, what the aim is, what the methods we use to find out anything about anything is. But the fact is, we don't know. Mind cannot come up with an accurate, always the same understanding about anything or nothing. But the point is, you see, the point is, imagine yourself using your mind, using your thought. Imagine yourself as a tree within you, not as the tree. A tree is growing within you. The roots are in the, what is it you call it, the base of the spine, that nervous, that whole bunch of nerves, and the spine is the trunk. And the branches and the leaves and the fruits, whatever kind of tree you are the thoughts. You see? Infinite branches. Your tree can grow and aspire to something incredibly intelligent towards the external world. And the body is the external world because the tree is within, you see? So the tree is looking out towards the body, through the world, through the earth, through the universe, through the galaxy, through the cosmos, through the consciousness. But the tree never looks at itself. That's why we call it the old man, the old sage wise, We call the tree a wise thing, It stands upright, it blows in the wind, it remains intact throughout the whole of its existence. And it would live forever if we didn't chop them down. So we chop our own tree down, you see. We chop our own tree down by not looking at the tree that is within us. What kind of tree do you want, you see? Do you want a big, thick, wide trunk oak with creaking branches, and the thoughts creak and they make beautiful, music? You want to be that spindly silver birch. I want to be silver. I want to shine silver. You don't mind, you see, you don't mind. You don't mind what tree you are, as long as you're a tree. God says, I'm going to make you a tree. And you say, well, what kind? And God says, well, no, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a better choice. I'm going to make you a tree. But if you try and manipulate and request a specific kind of tree, I'm going to not make you a tree. So you have to accept being a tree at whatever tree state you become, or you're treeless. And if you're treeless, you can't use this tree to see the world of thoughts, to see the body, to see the earth, to see the universe. You're a dead tree. And that's what humans have become. Dead trees looking at the outside world as a dying process. How will I die, you see? How can I die? What is the best way to die? What is the best way to go through life? Trying to control my death, my infinity. And even now, we plan our funerals at 25, pay up front, pay the cash, and we'll give you the best funeral. We just ignore death, the world, ignore the thoughts, and become the tree of life, you see. That's what they call it, the tree of life. One day during this awakening, where this mind of thoughts was absolutely obliterated, it's like the tree had lost all its branches and it just became the spine and the roots. It became I. You see, that's the shape, that's the symbol. The thoughtless I, the mindless tree. One day I went into this, where I live is a forest of pines. I've been through this forest many, many times with my dog, with my grandchildren. But this day I found myself in the middle of many trees, looking at one in particular. Now this appears to be a normal, what you would call, experience. But I stayed in the forest looking at this tree, and time stood still. There's no recollection or memory of whether I came home, whether I had tea, whether I went to work in between this visitation like a periodical, I'm coming and going into the forest, into this particular tree. There was no recollection of what was taking place. And this tree just held a trunk. And in one moment, this voice said, I is reflecting myself purely. I'm not the body. I'm not this inner tree. And I'm not this outer tree, which is reflecting immaculate what I feel inside. I am the reflection. See? I am the reflection, reflecting myself in all ways. Thoughts come, they reflect themselves, they replicate themselves. They come one day as a thought, and next day as the same thought. Everything is just a pulse of the same. So when the thoughts are alive and biting, be grateful that you're not following the thoughts, trying to be the doer of the thought. You're not trying to fight the thoughts, ignore the thoughts. You're reflecting a thought. The thought has no content. The thought has no purpose, no method, no objective, no meaning. The thought is the mind seeing you in your pure state. And it gives no thoughts on what it sees. It's just mesmerized at how it can reflect, how it is alive, how it has been allowed this beautiful position to reflect that what is true, immaculate. It gasps as it opens the door, thinking it's looking for God, thinking it's looking for something special. This mind is aghast at what it sees as itself. That one moment is pure. That one moment cannot be described as a God or consciousness or a world or a thought or a time or a past or a future or a hope possibility. That one moment just simply is the best moment, the only moment, worth being a human for, worth being a mind for, worth being a soul, spirit for. That one moment is the moment with God. What does it look like, you see? Questions. Mind. I'm here, sir, ready to answer your questions. Mind then goes researching to old saints, to old biblical and religious, participants. What was it like for you? What was it like for them? Read. Yes, it was like this. So I have to replicate that. It was like this. And whatever you are turns around to the mind and says, please, reflect purely. Don't reflect what you think, what you read about, what you know, or what you think you know, or what you've learned, or what you've inherited. Reflect the moment as it is. And the mind says, I can't. And you say, yes, you can. And just be silent. Just be silent. Thoughts are born from silence. You are not born from silence, you are the silence that gives birth to your body, to your thoughts, to your mind, to your spirit, to your soul. So I always leave you with a question. So as this silence, what is it? Can you be seen? Who are you, this silence? From where are you looking from? And as what? That's great thoughts. These thoughts will set you free. But it won't set you free, it'll set your mind free. And your mind can move on to do another chore, another job. And think. Where it's needed. But these videos are just a thought. Find the truth. Not the truth of me, not the truth of Jesus, not the truth of Buddha, not the truth of God, not the truth of life. Find the true one. Where is it? How can it be found? Remove these questions are thoughts, and simply look at I. Do not take your eyes off I. Do not take your sensory tree, your roots of I, and travel up the trunk. Travel down the trunk. Travel within the trunk. And travel, and travel, and travel. And if you find a conclusion, it's the mind. Be the travelling, not the traveller. Not that what has to be attained. Just be the ongoing.